Ugh. Hey up, troops. Hey Littleton here again with another video, and this time we're doing something slightly different. We're going to talk about game sense. So the first thing we're going to do is run through a replay of a match that I had last night. I was solo queuing. We were in a 5v3 in the first round on a game of Bank, and I'm going to run through what I did from a game sense perspective and why I did it. Then I'm going to run through, I'm going to go onto a map on my own and make 4 points and try and run through 4 things. So look, it's not going to be the most exciting video. There's no 360 one-tap headshots. It's just information of how you can improve as a player. It's nothing to do with an operator. It's how you can improve as a player across all operators. So just one more thing before we stop waffling. There was a portion of the video for like 20 seconds where my daughter was asleep next to me in the crib, got a bit restless. So I had to just come away from the P. I didn't want to re-record the clip. So I just had to step away, got like comfort, put a dummy back in and then crack on again. I didn't want to have to re-record it. It was a bit unprofessional. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Other than that, it's enough waffling. Let's get stuck into it. So I'm going to start with this clip. This is going to be like almost a full round where I just talk about what I did on this game last night. I wasn't streaming, so I'm going to have to show you the replay, not the VOD. So I'm playing Zero. And I'll just skip this up a little bit here. Running back to an angle to get a camera in lobby. This is really useful, by the way. You can take out the default cam and then put your own cam in there. So we've now got coverage on lobby. And we're going to try and get a drone in there as well. I'm solo queuing here, by the way, so I've got no communication with the other team at all. I'll turn the volume down on the game just slightly. So we've got that cam in lobby. We can see what's going on. We can see just from that cam. Let me just pause that there. If I'm pushing lobby, I hope the replay system plays along with us doing this, by the way. Let me pause it there. Because I'm pushing lobby, I know I'm going to have to go up spiral stairs or banana or whatever you want to call it. So whilst I'm looking at this cam, I've had a look to see if there's anything on the stairs there. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to see goo mines, but I can't see any banshees, I can't see any prox mines, see no barbed wire, etc. So we're going to have a think about going up there. So we see nothing there. Obviously, bear in mind, I haven't got these outlines. So we know no one's lobby. Now, we didn't drone the rest like lower elevators or through into towers and all that sort of good stuff. We can see from here, no one's in the lobby. Bear in mind, by the way, in this position here now, we're in a 3v5, so it's not like I've only got a minute and 40 seconds. It's not like I've got loads of time to think about what I'm going to do here. I've got to make a push and get aggressive. We've got to get active, as the cool kids say. Also, my 2 teammates on the exact opposite side of the map that you just saw there. So I checked lobby cam again, nothing there. So now I know that if I want to get upstairs, which is where it's going to get a fruity, I can go up banana stairs or spiral stairs pretty much uncontested. So we crouch in. Don't forget, I've already shot the lobby cam from outside, so we don't need to worry about that. So now it's a bit sort of ratty, this, isn't it? Just crouching along, but you'll see how it works. So we get to the top of spiral, and here we've got to make a decision. Do we go left? Do we go right? Do we look at elevators? From here, you're still covered from elevators a little bit. So here we see the Azami. I don't know she's there at this minute. The only information I've got, the lobby was clear. I haven't got any more information at the top of here. I didn't realise how close we were to getting a kill there. So at this point, the doc just runs past. He doesn't check top spiral at all. Runs in, gives me a freebie. Thanks very much, doc. Right, we're down to a 3v3 because the friend on the other side, I say friend, randomer on the other side got a kill. So now we see that I started trying to peek that window, and that window, and that window, but it's all barricaded. So the next angle I have to peek now is from long. Now I know, because of the way that I know the map, and I wish I had a picture of Bank here so I could show you, but we know those windows are barricaded, so we don't have to worry about any of that. We don't even have to worry about behind us just yet, because we're round the bend of the top of banana now, if you know what I mean. So now we check this angle. We don't see anything here. And at this point, now I think I hear... I'd have to remember the exact timings, but I'm pretty sure I hear the footsteps behind me now. See the Azami swinging around. Just absolutely unbelievable. Flick onto YOLO man's face. I wish he knew that he just got absolutely muddied by a 34-year-old bald man. So we're now down to a 3v2. So we've gone from being in a 3v5 to a 3v2. Holding this angle as well. Again, I don't really know where my teammates are. I can hear thorn gadgets going off. I didn't have to worry about the long angle behind me towards site because I've just been looking there. There's no one pushing that way. Now I was going to hold here in case somebody pushed out a meeting and came around the top of elevators. No one does. Someone else pushes this way. I hear the footsteps. Smoke's in the mud as well. Good night, psych. Down to 3v1 now. Now I know that Monty has the diffuser. I see Monty's inside, so I think I better go and help Monty. See the angles. And we just see the... I mean, I can't believe that isn't a headshot, by the way. But we just see the... who's left? The thorn at the back there. and we end up winning the round. We actually win the round with 3 players left alive after being in a 3v5. And you know why that is? And this is a boring thing that I keep talking about all the time. They gave us so many free kills. When I'm at the top of... When I get to the top of Spiral here, Doc, whenever you're running onto a new angle, especially the top of a staircase, you've got to check no one's there, right? That Doc's give his life away for nothing. So he dies first. Then when we get to here, the Azami, if I swap to Azami now, she's heard the kill top Spiral, or top Banana, whatever you want to call that. And she can't, certain players just can't not peek. What she could do now is just come in tuck tight here and hold that angle. But she can't help it. Has to push around, actually sort of flicking around, looking at where I am, which is a bit mad. Here's me walk around there, obviously. Tries to come and peek it. Gets absolutely smoked by an old man. Then we swap to... I don't know why I haven't got a... where's me... Hello? Ref? Where's my mouse gone? I'm in free cam here, somehow. How am I in free cam? I didn't even think that was a thing yet. So now Iona and Monty are in meeting, by the way. Or conference, apparently that's cool. And the Thorn's downstairs. But the smoke... So one the Azami has heard the kill. Banana has had to peek this way. Smoke is then here. And now to be fair to Smoke, they're in a 2v3 now. So Smoke does need to get a little bit aggro. So then the Smoke comes and peeks this angle. And dies as well. By the way, when free cam, sorry, what? When free cam comes out properly next season, it's going to be absolutely mad. Boom. Smoke's dead, 3v1. So we got that from them giving two or three easy kills away, really. But I've thought, and the key point to improving on game sense is thinking like them. I know that because they've heard the kill top Banana, someone's going to come and peek top Banana. And I know that there was going to be one inside just because that's where most people are. So once I peek this way, I then come back and peek this way. It's just, I don't know, when you put it like this and we're watching it like on a, and making it look so easy like this, Siege is so simple in so many ways when you look at it like this. So when it comes to game sense, here's me just walking around a map and trying to tell you a few things that I try and do when it comes to being ahead of the opposition. Because, look, I keep saying it all the time, right? I'm a 34-year-old bald dad of 2 who has a very serious day job, plays Siege at night, and still gets diamond every season. So there's something I'm doing right, and I tell you right now, it's certainly not my aim, because my aim is absolutely atrocious compared to a lot of the people I play with. But I like to think that my brain's in the right place. And the way that I've done that over the years of playing Siege is just by improving game sense and trying to anticipate situations and thinking about how you can get the edge on your opponents. Because if I can't get it mechanically, I've got to try and get it another way. So I've written a couple of points down here. I'm going to talk about them quickly about the way I improve game sense. And hopefully that can be passed on to you as well. So the first thing I wrote down, and this is what I do all the time, is think like them. So for example, if we're pushing piano door here and... sorry, my daughter is next to me because my other half's bathing my other daughter. And she's just started crying, so I just need to put the dummy in just for a second. Hang on. Dummy back in. You know what? I'm not even cutting that out. Not only are we getting diamond every season as an old man, we're looking after babies, putting dummies in, and making videos. Unreal. So if we're trying to take piano double here... Oh, she's gone back asleep. What a dream. If we're trying to take piano double here, right, and there's a defender holding this angle here, okay, we peek, we find out the defender's there, and we don't die and we don't kill them, right? We peek, we find out he's there. That defender is probably not going to carry on holding that same angle, and if they do, you've got to counter a way to get that. If they know, if you peek it, and you know he's there, the other thing I've written down here, by the way, is when you re-peek, I don't suggest re-peeking most of the time, especially when you're attacking. But if you do have to peek, you can peek on a different height. So if you peek and you're standing, when you come back and you repeat, crouch. Obviously, you'll have to lift your cursor up a little bit. So if you're here and you come back in and you repeek, crouch. And then if you crouched it originally, come back out, stand up, and then repeek it. Because if someone peeks me here and the head is here, I'm going to carry on keeping my cursor there, my crosshair in that place. They then repeat me and they're down here. So if they see you, change your height. Peek it here. Oh no, come down then. Okay, or if you're already down, come up. The other thing is pre-firing. Pre-firing angles that you know you hold. So this is the thing with pre-firing, right? You already hold those angles. You as a defender will have held this angle before, right? Because and this is a pretty common angle to hold as long as this window is shut. So because this angle's being held, and you have probably held this angle before, why don't you pre-fire that with 3 or 4 rounds as you come around the top of the door here? Don't hit the door frame, actually hit that gap. Why don't you pre-fire it? When you get to this angle here, this isn't a very common angle, but this is very common. This is very common, and there's usually a shield here, or someone could be even tucked in tight. But this angle here and this angle here are incredibly common. So when you get to this point, why don't you pre-fire that? Or why don't you pre-fire that? I mean, they're poor pre-fires, but you get me point, right? Because as a defender, you have 100% stood on this angle before. You have 100% stood on this angle before. What does pre-firing cost you? Unless you need to be super stealthy and you can't let them know you're there, get to this point and pre-fire that and pre-fire that. Why not? Because you will have held them angles before. Despite still being on attack here as ace, we're just going to pretend that we're on defense here. And the other type of game sense here for me is knowing when to peek and when to hold an angle or hold an off angle. So why do you need to hold this kind of angle here? If you need to be aggressive or you think they're going to push in, they haven't droned it, then you absolutely can hold this angle, but you've got to hold it tight. That's probably a bit too tight. You've got to hold it, you know, you're not going to be holding it like this and put half your body hanging out, but hold it as tight as you can, reasonably tight, just like this. However, if you're in a 5v4 or a 5v3 or a 4v2 and you're in the ascendancy, you've got the man advantage, why do you need to hold that angle? Why do you need to give somebody the opportunity to do what we just talked about pre-firing? You don't need to do that. So you could move back and hold an angle like this. Or even like this. And then when you hear the audio cue of someone getting a little bit closer, you normally put a little bit of utility here. So like a Fenrir, FNAT or a Malusi Banshee or just something there to give us a bit of a clue that someone's in this area. You can hold this angle. Or if you're here, you don't need to be holding this as long as big window's closed. Obviously, you don't need to be holding this. You can just hold this. You can wait until they push in and then swing around. You don't need to give them that opportunity of taking your head off with a swift pre-fire, especially when you've got the man advantage. But that's only on defense, really. On attack, you've generally got to be the aggressor, obviously. But I wish most of the people in the community would understand that as a defender, you don't need to be the aggressor. The attacker has to come to you. You can hold this angle all day. And if the attacker doesn't come through this door, you're going to win the round. But for some reason, everyone on defense is like, yeah, I'll peek that. Where is he? Go on, I'll get it. I'll get it. Just relax. You've got 3 minutes. Loads to do in 3 minutes. Loads to talk about. Loads to think about. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the round. So just going back to my main point then, and I'll wrap it up here really, is thinking like them. And again, this is something that you have to do on the fly. It's not something that's easy to do. If you're pushing Solarium stairs, for example, you've droned it. You've droned a guy out his top of the stairs or he's on master door. You've got to think about if you were here and somebody pushes the stairs and forces you off this position, where do you go? You probably go here, don't you? Or if you don't go here, you go here, or you do something weird like get in the bath. Why would you do that? I don't know. But if you're then holding Solarium stairs here, and you get pushed off here, where do you go? You probably go here. And hold this angle. So you've got to try and think on the fly that as you come up the stairs, you get the guy off that angle, and he runs back. And now in your mind, you've got to go, if I was him, if I was holding that angle and I've been forced back, where would I go? So then by the time you get to here, you're already knowing that he's probably going to be here. And if he isn't going to be there, he's going to be here. And if he isn't going to be there, he's going to be on the door behind or behind the bed. Probably not going to be like this angle, is he? Do you know what I mean? He's going to be tucked in here. But you've got to, that's the biggest thing to do, is think about what you do. And think about what you would do in that situation and respond to that. Because a lot of players are similar. If you're playing in like silver, gold, plat, emerald, a lot of players are a similar ability. And what you would do is similar to what a lot of other people would do, unless you're an absolute weirdo. If you're an absolute weirdo and you play strange, don't follow that advice. But if you try and think that what would you do in that situation? If you were there and you'd been pushed off that angle, where's the next place you'd go? You've got to try and think like that, and you'll be able to win more things than you think you will, because you'll be thinking like a defender. Right? But you've got, this is where I'm just sort of rambling on a bit now, but it's very true, where it's very difficult to do that because you're already thinking about everything already anyway. You're already thinking about 17 different angles that you've got to worry about. You're already thinking about where's your drone. You're already thinking about where am I going to plant. You're already thinking that it's a 3v3 and I've only got 20 seconds left. And you've got to think about what are they going to do at the same time. It's a nightmare to think about, but you know what? You can do it. Here we go. I'll repeat them again. Think like them. What would you do if you were a defender in that situation? If you're repeaking, change your height. I don't recommend. I don't know that word. I don't recommend. I don't know why I've said that word. I don't recommend repeaking the same angle twice, but if you've got to, change your height, crouch or stand up. Pre-fire the angles that you know you hold. You do it all the time. I'm going to mention another angle now. If you're coming to the balcony, how many defenders try and hold a cheeky angle like this? So when you get to the top of the mez, get here. I've done this so many times, I feel like I've got this pre-fire down. Get here, pre-fire that. because people will be holding that. So pre-fire the angles that even you hold. So you already know the angles. So you don't have got to learn angles. You already know them. And the other one is when to peek and when to hold. You don't need to peek if you've got the numbers advantage on defense. You don't need to hold aggressive angles. You can just chill and then peek and swing if you need to. Don't give them the easy kills like they did to me on bank on that first clip. So there we have it. 4 points on ways that I try and improve my game sense. Now, game sense is, yes, pre-firing is a bit of game sense. And yes, not peeking is game sense. But ultimately, the biggest takeaway, and I've said it all the way through the video, is think about what would you do if you were them. But you've got to think about that in half a second. And that's how you make the decisions. And that's how you improve. Don't just mindlessly attack. Think about it a little bit more. Think about what you're doing, and I guarantee you will improve. Other than that, this sums us up for another one. If you've been here and watched 10 seconds or 10 minutes of this video, thank you very much. I say it every time, and I won't change that now. This channel's nothing without those that watch it. That's you, by the way. Yeah, you, right there. So cheers for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.